It's something about the way we do it. As much as I could say, it's the Trinidadian way. From the time the carnival reaches pace again, we whine again, we never going and change. Cause nobody.
Good evening, TNT family. Welcome to our special edition here of African Emancipation Day in Trinidad and Tobago on UNC USA. And I have here with me Mr. Suman Singh. Then I do expect a few others will join me during the program. So, Mr. Singh, I want to welcome you back to UNC USA. We're doing this special edition in honor of our Afro Trini brothers and sisters. And it's one thing I like to see, like, people having a good time, and we are good for that.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, we are more fighters than fighters. And
And let me say something. Good afternoon to all those who are joining us on our platform, and special congratulations to the Afro Trini community. Let me tell you something, Gary. Is on you see the camaraderie throughout the year, and you only see that polarization around election time. Because when you go cricket and so on, and you see the camaraderie that exists between both main ethnic groups, you wonder why does the division occur only around election time? And this is where politics divides people. So we'll take it from there. Yes, but
yeah, what I really enjoy seeing, and the thing about it, I'm gonna tell you, this is the way I feel about it. Today is African
demand,
Emancipation Day, right?
yeah, yes,
But April 28th,
that's really the day.
2025 was Trinidad and Tobago Emancipation Day,
Correct.
where Trinidad and Tobago was emancipated from the PNM. And seeing the freedom in the spirits of the minds of the people and how they, I mean, they just kind of let loose, from that April 28th onwards, I mean, the people in their minds are so mentally free. I mean, things are not where we want it to be yet, because we're still trying to straighten out a lot of the economic situation and stuff like that. But it is the freedom in the minds of the people. They are a little more at ease, all that tension that was taking place in the country.
Absolutely correct. You hit it on the head, man. They are absolutely correct there. The freedom that the country enjoyed was really on the last election, the April 28th. And since then, you see a general relief in people's face, boy. Everybody seems a little more relaxed, and at least there's hope for the country. And with the messages coming out from the various ministers and so on, I see. Just look at what's in the plan for the Ministry of Education, for example. A lot of schools have currently been repaired. They haven't, going to fill vacancies during July and August for over 100 places for school principals, you know, and, the, and other ancillary staff as well, the supporting staff and so on. Upgrades, the computer labs, and all these things are going on. And not to mention the books and uniform grants that people are getting. I understand there's $1,000 to help them defray costs and so on, every school child. So at least to see, and the general public has, some information as where the government line is, where the government is spending the money, and they're spending it for the benefit of the people. Instead of taking away laptops, they're giving laptops. Instead of taking away grants and all these food cards, and they're giving food cards and grants and special concession for students who cannot afford to go to school and so on. So I think this government is really keeping up to its mandate as a government for the people. And the slogan when we UNC, when everybody wins, and apparently this is coming to pass, because I don't see any discrimination for any group of people. I see schools in the north getting the same thing as schools in the south, as schools in the east, whereas over the P&M regime, everything was a selective and a hush hush, and nobody knows anything about who was getting scholarships and what criteria is being used and so on. Nobody knew these things. So the UNC is very transparent in what they're doing, and they are accounting to the people as to how monies are being spent and so on. And I understand all these job vacancies for school principals are being, posted, or is to be posted shortly, and the process is going to start to select from the interviews. So again, the transparency is there. And I think people will, for the first time in a long while, are seeing these things. As I said before, on the PNM, you don't know what they were doing, what they were,
Our
who they
ministers
were
are working
hiring.
7 days a week. They are working 7 days a week.
7 days a week, and nights too.
And yeah, I
So
mean, but I mean, and
yeah,
they are working very long hours because, like I
yes,
said, I could get a message like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, same
When
at
they
least.
finally getting back to me.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 3 o'clock in the morning, they're getting back messages and so on.
Yeah,
So
responding back, because they've been so overwhelmed with the amount of thing, but they do take the time,
yeah,
to respond
and then
to me.
you have to make sure you solve the problem in the right way. You just can't just off the top of your head say yes, do this, do that. No, you have to make sure you're doing a good job at identifying the problem and find the correct solutions for it.
Yeah.
So these things at least the government is accountable, and I'm sure people will buy into this as time goes on, that they can see what the expenditure is and what the plan is and how we're going to develop this thing and how we're going to provide funding for these certain groups of people and so on. But first, before you could do these things, you have to clean up the mess. And the mess is a big mess. And I still of the opinion they will take them a good year or so to clean up this mess, boy. It's because, as I keep on saying, every ministry, every organization, every state-run company, everything is in a total mess. And in my opinion, I think that this was deliberately done so that there will be little or no accountability of expenditure. So when boards and so on turn the blind eye on issues which they would have known, but they just didn't bring it up because they're scared of bringing up these things or scared of losing their jobs or their appointments. So at least now we're seeing certain things happen in a transparent and accountable manner. And I think people will buy into this. I really do. Yeah. Are we having anybody on tonight?
Yeah,
As
we expecting one or two people should come on. Is I'm very pleased to see a lot of things being taken place, and there's a lot of things, the restructuring of the URP and the CPEP situation being dealt with, and our minister um, Barry Padler talking about putting better things in place.
right,
Uh,
right,
y- you
right.
know, a more structured environment. You know,
And I
so I'm
see
just yeah, I have some concern here where I saw Tara Lochan Singh got swept away at Matura River,
what
and yeah, and she had the
T-
grandchild in her hand,
today.
and yeah, this happened today, and as of now, Hunter Search and Rescue is in the forefront searching that river. I just could not uh, extract the footage from Facebook at this point,
You
but I'm
see,
hoping. uh,
that's that is definitely a shortcoming currently because we have been speaking about this thing for the past 2 3 days. No,
Yeah,
who
yeah.
are the
So,
first responders and why they're not around, and if it's I know, but tourists are a
well, we
little
have a lot. We
ice.
have a lot to fix, and that this restructuring will take us some time.
Take us
But
time, correct?
yeah.
Because it's broken, and that's what I'm saying. So that you, when it's broken, nobody really accountable. Nobody says what they do. So
Well,
that was a way
a
of stealing.
holiday weekend. It's a holiday weekend, and the people who's supposed to be in charge of our security, them want to relax too. You
Yes,
understand? But everybody can be doing the same thing. Remember, they have a
correct.
responsibility, and you want to be, having a good time, and you put down your guard. But we are not prepared to respond. It's like when them four divers got trapped in the ocean. There, every all the important people to make the decision, was having a good
Failed.
time.
They
Yeah,
failed to do. Yep. These are the issues. These are things that should never happen in a community. On the river, I've never been to Matura River. I don't know if you have been there. How is it there? It's like Cora side or a lot of shallow ponds and so on, or unless there's some rainfall higher up and it probably came gushing down or something like that.
Well, it seems like a gush of water came down and it took her
Hmm.
and the grandchild. They found the grandchild. The baby floated up, I guess. But the lady went and so they're searching in an area that is very deep, and they're trying to measure their movements because it's a deep step down with some bamboo and stuff like that there.
Ah,
So
yes,
the
yes,
area
yes.
so the
Yes.
area is not very clear to in the first place. We need to do some maintenance in that area because it's a recreational area.
All
So
right.
going forward, we would, based on what I've seen here, it will have to be some cleaning up done because they have all these loose bamboo and everything there. So if you
Right.
get
Right.
taken by water, you could get a bamboo could run straight through you. You
That's
know,
right. Because the current,
so
the water.
the way the place is situated. So I'm looking at this thing here, and to see how these guys trying to search for this missing lady here, and they have all the lights, and they are getting equipment and stuff like that. But I want to see our emergency, just like how Dr. Rambo calls it out, is we want to see our emergency responders equipped, ready to move, when the time is needed.
Yes, because people by and large tend to concentrate on the rivers and small shallow pools and so on, Lopino, Cora, and Shark River and Matura River and so on, as an entertainment area because, I mean, the beaches are swamped with sargassum seaweeds all over the whole East Coast, is swamp. Most of Tobago is swamp as well, so it leaves very little places to go, given that the sea has all these seaweeds and people try to explore things closer to home, closer to the various communities and so on. It will be nice. It will be nice if we develop this inland or community-based tourism and so on in these areas. Because I'll tell you what, that nobody knows these rivers and these hideouts with nice spots and things than the local community. They know all the risk factors and so on. Hey, when you see the weather set out like this, expect rainfall and expect a lot of brown water coming down with the rush and so on. These people live and grow up in the area, so they
Yeah.
know the terrain and they know what's
Listen
there.
to the syllabus. Listen to the syllabus here.
Presently, we outside, so and what's your name, Danny? Uh, the car Singh wash away from the and Mature. From that part of the river come down, and we presently have our team there and fire officer. He's a family, right?
The fire was starting to be a family member that was there,
That's Steve coming on top.
Mm.
So believe she
but not the actual team.
so we're going on there now. This one.
Ah, okay.
And they're lacking equipment, the way this thing look here.
Yeah.
We have Steve,
The baby was found alive.
Pastor Danny, we have Dave, we have Kyle, right? So, pressure. We presently on this site, Tara was washed away. We have Steve, sorry, Dave. So, we earlier Pastor Danny was here with his son, with Kyle. Right? Sorry.
Well, looking at this, they could do with some equipment here. I mean, if they had like a fire tender, the ladder could have been stretched and give them some leverage. A
Yes.
dinghy or something too. To
And
get in the
that is,
water.
that is,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's only thing.
So they're trying to go into an area that's looks like it's very deep, and they're trying to feel their way through here.
all right.
And a lot of lights and flashlights and things. But yeah, they're just kind of identify this very deep area here. You know.
Yeah, this makes it two of them in a
Yeah.
week. Huh?
Yeah, Mr. Singh. It's very sad to see.
Yeah, yeah, and
Uh,
these things are preventable. This is the thing. when it's out of your hands, it's out of your hands. But when things are preventable and still ends up in debt, it's
Well, you know,
very,
I mean, like I said, the area could do some cleanup and a little more preparation because it's a recreational area that needs some
correct. And
attention, and then the recreation area needs like lifeguards, and we need on top of that we
they will be
need
the,
the
they need
response
they
when you call for
need,
help.
that is what they need. They need response like on holiday weekends and so on. If you don't have or you can't maintain lifeguards and so on, they at least have the community people
Right,
who
right. But I'm saying they
they
could have the
support.
community volunteer. But the thing about it also, like how we have the park police and all these things here and the beach
Yes,
patrol.
yes, yes, yes. No, yeah.
You know,
When
these are
you
things that
involve,
I have suggested. I know it's going to take a while for me to get to it, but community organizing can create some kind of assistance in the meantime until we get,
correct.
you know.
That's what I will get at. That. Let the community do their own policing, for example, community-based policing, where the community arrange and have it where the community benefits and the community will benefit because once tourists come and they're going to relax in a nice spot in the beach or not in the beach, sorry, in the river and the little park and recreation areas and so on. They will buy things. There's entertainment. There's security. You got the feeling that you're enjoying yourself. That rather than be scared of things. One,
Well, but
I-
yeah, and you
then
know, our people
secondly,
we like to go by the river because you can make a little cook and thing there
right,
much
but that
easier
that is normal.
than
There's nothing
by
wrong
the
with that.
beach.
But
Yeah,
you
yeah.
do what you do. What I say, a lot of places they do like ropes and buoys and so on in the river. So it becomes like if you get washed away, at least
You have something to grab onto there. There's the
something to grab
safety.
onto. I
Yeah,
can.
yeah.
This
The
what.
safety things are in place,
Yes,
devices and stuff like that. Yeah, but
yes,
I'm looking at that area. Yeah, as soon as I get a clip, I'll post it up. But I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with the area because you are more, how to say, out there in Trinidad than me. I have moved away since I was a young man, and I haven't gone much places. But you know,
yeah.
seeing this,
Well, I've
the
been to
place.
that
It's
Matura.
Matura River, Matura River. But you
Yeah,
know, I'm
I
just
know,
watching
I
the
know, I
condition.
know, I know there because we went to give out laptops to the students there in the schools there
So,
and local
looking at the
campus.
condition of the area, there's a lot of work needed there.
Yeah,
You
but,
know,
but
and
what they can do again, that's a nice project for the people there in that area to do like a community-based
so
tourism and so on.
Matura will fall under which constituency? Is that under
I think the Toko
uh,
area.
Komoto Manzalina? Is that what that would fall under? I think.
All on the fringe there, but I think it's more on the Toko side, closer to the Toko area than
Yeah, yeah. I would have to look at.
yeah. But wherever it falls, I know the river where it enters the sea. There is a nice area. A lot of people go on kayak and so on. I think there's where Roger Boynes, the P&M former P&M guy, had his little hotel there. So
Dr.
it's a
Ashwin
nice
Maraj, welcome, Dr. Maraj.
Oh yeah.
happy
How are you?
Emancipation Day. Happy Emancipation Day, Doc.
Yeah, man. Thanks. Same to you all, man. The hell. It's a nice day indeed. I
Of
understand they
course.
had lots of I understand they had lots of celebration in Trinidad.
Yeah, so I heard, and I didn't watch the news, but I know I see everybody dressed up.
There we go, gentlemen. Take a look.
Yeah,
This is culture.
people seem to be having a good time down there, man.
Yeah, no, this is culture. This is real culture. I don't know how we got from this to the current carnival Monday and Tuesday and other days where the gyration and the nakedness and the lewdness. I don't know how we got. I understand how we got there, but I mean, this is graceful. This is well. This is great. This is celebration of a culture. This is how it's supposed to be. I'm
Correct.
not going to. I'm not going to say carnival as it but I mean that is nowhere. That's chalk and cheese. This is different. This is real. This is real celebration. This is paying homage to our African brothers and sisters who had to endure a number of years, just to know that that Trinidad African, most of the African ex-slaves came from the West Indies. So we didn't have much of original slaves because long before this, we don't have anybody talking on this tonight, right? That is not my specialty, but I need to have an idea what's going on around. So I don't know if you all recall that before we had Emancipation Day, we had Columbus Day. It used to be called Columbus Day, and it was celebrated in Muruga, Grashime, where we used to have the Columbus ship coming aboard. And the guys, so I know the guys in there from Grand Chimay who is the actors, Columbus and the sailors, and they have the ship coming.
Yeah.
One is to come across, but they have the two. I think they have three in all. And they were boats really designed like the Pinto and the Nina and whatever the names were in those historical times. So I think what they did, instead of adding an additional holiday, someone they could correct me, instead of having an additional holiday, they converted the Columbus Day into Emancipation Day, if think I'm correct. Because I think it became a holiday sometime in the 80s, just around the NAR time.
In
I don't think
1985,
NAR
I'm
did.
seeing here 1985, as far as I'm seeing
Okay,
here.
oh, good, right. Just before the NAR. The NAR was in 1986. Yes. So it used to be so. I would have gone to Moruga the night before. They so have the parties all over the place and Granchime, Bastia, Laloon, and all those. I forgot all the town, the little villages are Laloon, and no, I forgot all the villages around there. But really, Bastia was the really big activities. I have lots of fun there, and then of course, indeed on the beach itself. Grashime, that's where the Statue of Liberty. They had a statue there. I think it was Columbus statue in front of the church, just at the edge of the seashore. So that used to be a big thing. A lot of people used to head that way by the town. Well, I'm not talking by hundreds. The roads is an narrow one way in, one way out, and it used to be jammed all the way like 1 mile up. We had to park maybe a half a mile and walk down to the beach.
Oh,
So it was really congested, but they didn't have what we have now. They really celebrated now as an occasion where emancipation actually took place and they choose August the 1st because I don't know exactly what date that the emancipation was proclaimed when it came into effect. But they used that holiday instead to call it Emancipation Day. And the people in Trinidad who, for the African brothers and sisters, and in Indo as well, follow this up carefully. They might tell us more about this if anybody comes on. But it is indeed a welcoming sight to see the kind of well orchestrated. You could watch this because sometimes the gyration and the sexual suggestivity on Carnival kind of turns me off. I like to see the mask, but that behavior is a little not annoying to many of us, and I wish they would minus that. Now they're almost naked. I don't know who tell them that. I mean, if I'm a young guy growing up and seeing this thing, I don't know how I'll react because that was really. I mean, when I was growing up, if I see a woman above her knee way up, that's a big thing. Of course, when you're going to the seashore, that you stay but on the seaside. But in the middle of Port of Spain and Queens Park, Savannah, and all those people. I mean, but I'm not criticizing it. What I'm saying is that this was so comparative terms. I'm saying this so graceful and looking so cultural and everything is positive about it. It looks even at some time it looks like it is it is it's kind of semi-religious as well because we have the Baptist people around us and the like. So I know the Benjamin the young lady is doing a fantastic job. I mean, I was just let me stay on this. I don't want to go into politics. I just want to stay on this. So I I'm happy what I saw today, and I wish that something more. And by the way, all your ministers of government also did their part. We saw them how they dress. Your prime minister is she is a unity, diversity in motion. She is really the mother of unity and diversity. She dressed for all occasions. You can see this is a different lady, man. This is a different Trinidadian. She dressed for the occasion. She looks so good in all those costumes. I don't know what to call it dresses and different sort of fashion that comes off even the Muslim day and the Hindu day and the arrival day and the Baptist day and the Emancipation day. She comes across really like it is. I mean, someone would say she's playing the game and playing it well, but no. I think she genuinely believes in the unity and diversity of Trinidad and Tobago. You know, the rainbow Trini. That's I think what she might be called. But she's the mother of diversity and inclusion. And that's I wish I could put a article together on that about her. I don't think anybody will
You
write those
are
kinds of things.
absolutely correct on that, Dr. Marat. You are absolutely correct
Yeah,
about that with her. And
yeah,
and
yeah.
as far as I seen, she turns out to be the greatest prime minister the country ever had.
Uh,
Yeah.
because while I'm seeing her in all these roles, I realize her days are limited, like all of us. But her days are limited in terms of how much you can do in the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years. If 10 years will be a lot, but it's just possible. But I don't know. I really don't know. But but I'm beginning to think also that people getting used to UNC the way UNC are doing things. So if they get used to it this way, they will forget that bad ways in the past, and they will cyclically build on this current way of doing and seeing things. Like you see now, you're seeing the behavior. You can see now the data is coming forward. Data in Trinidad is hard to get. But with under the UNC and under the PAN, they used to have, for example, I think you all know this well. I mean, and this is something I hope to get to at some point about the business side of it, which is, as you know, auditors report. I they're doing 2016 auditor report in 2025. What the hell? This you have to be crazy, people. They have to be crazy. That you doing an auditor's report 8 years behind, 7 years, 10 years size. This is crazy. And this has been going on for years, but it's getting worse and worse and worse. You have to have the auditor's report almost maybe immediately, or let's say the latest the next year, so we can do corrective action in the meantime. So you allow these people to hide things all over the place, and then you do this report. So what I'm saying, well, the point I'm making, not to get into all of those things, I want to say that when people get used to um, a way of seeing Trinidad and Tobago, which could be done, which is going to be done, then that old bad PNM ways will never return. That is why these guys are so frantic in trying to defend the territory. Because if you get used to the UNC way of doing things, there goes the PNM, dead entropy, dead forever. So they're trying to hold on to this now and trying to introduce it, and then it's still there. And the best thing for them is to appeal to the sociological dimension. So what we must do as people who do not support them in their attitude is to keep on doing what we're supposed to be doing, which is things like these, following up on the Emancipation Day and celebrating the occasion with everybody else. And because we saw, I mean, look, for the first time in history, I don't, to the best of my recollection, that the chutney soca, the chutney monarch belongs to Afro Trinidadian. I don't think that happened in the past. And this is something like we await the day when we could have, I mean, when we could have an Indian calypsonian who number one winning the Mashkra. I mean, Raj Shorty, I have once said that there will be an Indian calypso tent, and he want to sign up as the number one, and his name will be the mighty Jagru Brijlal Some of you must have heard that story or reread that somewhere. I don't know. I came out of the same language youth movement like Rashotia and similar mothers who came out of the same language area. So this is I am hoping to hear if somebody else, maybe Dr. Ramrup or whoever, might give us a little rundown on what the current feeling on the ground is. I don't think any one of you on the ground there right now to are we seeing it? Because sometimes you see it in the press that it's not so on the ground. I mean, the press only pick up snippets of things and you don't realize what's going on. But I would like that, okay, that's Port of Spain, but it should be in every community, just like Carnival is in every community. I heard that Barakpur, which never had Carnival before, they have Carnival competition now and marching out the bands on the streets. Barakpur is one place you could have gone on. I mean, as a little boy grew up in Lengo, I went down to Barakpur to play mass. Well, I went to collect money house to house, and then I would go and play in Princess Town. And then I'll go back home and change my costume and then go down to Sam now to revel in the evening, like 4 or 5 o'clock. And I'll leave about 8 o'clock when I could get the last bus to come up to get to Lengo with a late bus. So that's how we grew up. And we had Carnival was nice in those days. I mean, but why I'm talking about Carnival is because I saw today parade. It's so elegant and so beautiful and so culturally filled. I mean, this is great. I mean, I don't know how we move from that to yeah, today. I'll talk about that already, but I don't know if I might be alone in this saying this kind of thing in the world, maybe in Trinidad or in the world. I don't know, but this carnival that we have, really, I love carnival. I mean, I play mass. I used to play the bass and the steel band. Rashot, yeah, I was the captain of the steel band, so I used to play the bass. But
You were the Om Shanti woman then.
Om Shanti Om, yeah, that song that I created. I heard I heard the one of the actors from India talk about this. He heard that it came from somewhere in the Caribbean, but
Yeah,
somebody
yeah,
sang the
yeah.
Om Shanti
I,
Om.
yes, I heard the same. And around that time, a year or two after that song became popular in Trinidad, they created a movie
Yes,
with that theme song.
yes,
Yeah, but it
yeah.
was done in Hindi, not in Rashoti version.
Yeah, and they give credit to somebody. They didn't call his name, but they give somebody credit to somebody in the Caribbean who
Caribbean,
sang
yeah,
this Om Shanti Ai, and one of
yeah,
the actors talking about it in our documentary.
that was
So,
nice.
and so, so this, I would say that we're on the right path to what we're doing. But I think Dr. Ramu was talking some night before. I think he was telling someone that don't be carried away with the nitty gritty with the PNM distractions. I think he called it distractions. We don't devote too much effort to the distractions because that would not take care. That would be playing their game on their territory on their
Yeah,
turf.
yeah. I usually want to saying that do not be distracted with rowdy thing in Antigua. Why Interpol search it. These are just distractions. They're trying to take the heat off. UNC is putting the pressure on them.
Yes,
So
yes.
yes. So continue.
Yeah. Now, so Gary had sent out. He talked about a bit about I think he was just now. I heard him talking about or telling you that there was a drowning in was it Maturita? Where is that?
Matura
Matura,
River.
the Matura River. What that is?
It's up in the east, northeast, and
Not the
Matura.
Oropouche. There's a Oropouche up in the east too, and Sandy
Yeah,
Grande.
yeah. I think Matura more, if my not taken on the east, northeast coast line. I know
Yeah,
there's a
yeah,
village there called Matura,
yeah.
but the river per se is what drains the hills and come down from the hill down into the lower area where it meets the ocean.
Hmm. Okay. So that's a flood zone, a flooded thing again, or just that somebody fell
No,
over?
those areas are pretty high, in the highland areas. So like the whole Toko plateau is up pretty close to the northern fringes of the northern range properly. So
Okay.
it's not flood prone. But you
So,
can
uh,
expect, because of the
yeah,
mountainous terrain, when there's rainfall, at least this time of the year,
yeah,
sometimes the water just knee deep, and all of a sudden, if the rain is falling somewhere else, higher up in the mountains, you might see a gush of water coming down like a wall.
yeah, 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 yeah,
Apparently, I hope that is not what happened, but
yeah,
um, this is to these two persons in 1 week, you know.
yeah.
So,
But this was not an accident, right? I saw part of it, but I wasn't sure. I didn't see everything because I wanted to get onto the Gary show tonight, but so I didn't see much of it.
yeah, it
But
was not
it looks like there was somebody in a river, and I don't know if it's a car also or what it was. But it looks as though the the rescue team was there from the NGO team was apparently they were talking like somebody's like they belong to the rescue group. So I guess that's what Gary was giving us that. So
well.
it doesn't look like a car this time. I don't know what it was, but
We're just trying to find out who were the first responders on the scene, because it, the rescuers and so on. Gary was mentioning he heard that the hunters group
yeah.
were already notified and so on, but I don't know since when they carry out the function as a first responder, but I don't know if that's legally, if they're allowed to do something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, by the mere fact they are wrong so long doing what they're doing, it might be
Yeah, that's
legal
good.
because
That's helping the
yeah,
community, because the community
So
just
this
can't.
this is where Matura is located, right off the Toko main road there,
Mhm.
and this is where the incident took place today.
You know them? Cool.
This is the situation here.
So
This
the
is the
mom,
lady they're looking for.
Tara Lochansi, would have gotten into difficulty with her 4-year-old daughter around this area here. And what was told to us when we got here was that the she made her way, just follow the light across here. Let me get underneath there in that underneath the bamboo there. That's where the child was found by a relative. They were not able to locate her. So this is the targeted area here, this basin. The water has dropped. Was being told to us. So she was here, just in that area there. Can see it through the bamboo. And then she came across here. Child was found here. And the mother still to be found. The father is okay.
So there you go, gentlemen.
hmm
Yeah,
Um, so
but that's what I was talking, Gary. In places, recreation areas and so on holiday weekends, it's important to have the community people, NGOs and so on, providing some sort of security, among other things like rescuers and so on, because we really can't wait for first responders to be
yeah,
on
no,
the
no. The
scene.
response has to be localized for each
But we do,
individual community.
yeah.
Listen, from 2017, I was trying to get off the ground when I saw how unorganized we were with Brett, right? I met
Mhm.
a team in Jersey City who were willing to help us with all of this EMT training, and they were willing to go to Trinidad, and they were willing to sleep anywhere if we put them up. And I couldn't get the government of the day to participate, but our UNC political leader, Mrs. BC, said did show some interest in what I was talking about. And so I'm looking forward to kind of putting these things, going forward.
Yes, you know, As I say, the places to go and
And
hang out and enjoy
and
yourself.
I must say, Honorable Prime Minister, at this stage,
Yes, yes. But the seas and so on being what they have right now with so much sargassum, seaweed, there's very little recreation area available to go and hang out somewhere, you know. Most of Tobago, as I said, is on the sargassum seaweed watch. Most of the East Coast, Mayaro, Guayac, Manzan, right up to Toko, a lot of sargassum seaweed. So people have no choice, you know, to go to the local or find somewhere
but
inland.
not only that, but listen, you know, a lot of our people prefer the river because you can sit down under a tree, you can make a coke, and you could set up versus the beach, you know.
Yeah, yeah. But this you will find more and more and more now because it's a holiday time and the beaches are not nice to go and have a nice little swim or something. So, you know, a lot more people might be vacationing or spending some time with their kids and so on. Inland, you know, out, not in the beaches, but inland, whatever little recreation or park area and so on they have. I saw this week on TV that was a robbery in at Cora, an early morning robbery in Cora. Some people making a cook and some guys went and held them up and so on. So, because gotta be careful wherever you are in TNT right now.
Well, um, it is a pity that you have to look over your shoulder all the time. I mean, and some of the police officers are saying, do not be a soft target. What they're telling you, and this is what they mean by you need to do your part also. Apart, like I said the other night, apart from if you see something, say something. They're also telling you that it's your fault. Because if you know bandits are wrong at 5 o'clock in the morning, you're making a cook, what the hell you doing there at 5 o'clock in the morning? It's your fault.
No, it's like
So,
pretty close to 8:30 in the morning. So that's, you know.
okay, I know, well, well, I thought it was earlier than that, but I mean, even 8:30, that's not early, I mean,
Probably,
but
probably they do breakfast, Mr. Dr. Maraz, a bike and choker or something, breakfast time, you know, rather than cooking out the lunch.
yeah. Yeah, so then they might even say, well, you know what? If nobody are wrong and three all you are there alone, why you have to move? Don't. You see, this victim blaming, and it's not, they don't know any better. So they say things like, the police will say things like
Mm.
that. Don't be at soft target. What you alone? Why? Okay, I came out and saying somebody walks into the police station and said I get raped. But I would say, but lady, you dress in a bad way. Is that how you will dress? Yes, I am. This is all dress that way. But okay, what that mean is that your dress was too short, really, and people might be tempted by your dress being short, too short. I mean, So so then I would say, well, that's how we start up, and we start to say, well, okay, it's your fault. However, the guy is also wrong. So let me go after the guy. But you see, that is the approach you get. Okay, they try to blame and just like in that home invasion I talked about, the police didn't blame them too much, but the kind of question they're asking them before you ask so many questions, send somebody out and then ask the questions. You asking questions like what time it happened, who was there and who wasn't there, and who was this and who was that. Forget all of that. The guy. First of all, there might be a no vehicle, had to wait till some vehicle come back or whatever nonsense. So you run down, take a drive. You already have an idea. This is a small country. You already have an idea of where most of the bandits coming from. Rush out and send up 3 and 4 vehicles. They should be coming from all directions. No, they don't do that. They go say this is my territory. Therefore, you cannot. They control. So the guy from the next station district cannot come to your area unless they come from the flying squad or the operating the kidnapping squad or whatever. They could go throughout the country. But if you're from a station, you're supposed to stay in the lane. stay in your group. So they send you to another station. You're reporting by the wrong station, go to another one. This is you you St. Joseph, you had to go to Tonapuna instead. So that fight goes on and on. Crap. That's what I tell you the other day. They cannot see be the same old and so expect different results. They have to do different things differently. And I tell them the model is try and see if we could use the cannibal model and see if it do. It wouldn't cost you much to do that really. It might cost you a few more overtime and something like that. But at least it start working. What is working? Because the guy now going to rob somebody at the riverside who went there to pick up 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning. Then you cannot be a soft target. I mean, that's a legitimate time to go and mark out the spot and start up your operation because you don't want the crowd to get too big.
Correct.
I mean, you have to be looking over your shoulder all the time and sort of don't be a target, they said. So I supposed to walk the country free wherever I want to go. So let's start with that assumption. And everything else is wrong. I am not wrong if I choose to go 8:30 in the morning to the riverside, set up my counter and my firewood and decide to start my cook early before the crowd comes in, unmolested. No, I can't go there anymore because some guy will rob me. So I go 8:30. I wait for the crowd and then I will go. So it's my fault. I should never blame the victim no matter what. Blame the country. See, you all talking about the river tonight over there that somebody got drawn. I will have two questions. One, is there a pattern that the rescuers, the private NGOs are arriving before the actual fire engine and emergency people? Is that a habitual thing? How much time does your will you call
Let
both
me
of
give you
them?
the answer
And
to that. The people have more confidence in these guys because they are more efficient.
right. So that
Okay,
needs
they
to
have
be addressed, of
demonstrated
course.
more effectiveness and efficient, and in fact,
Yeah.
they have started to get donations and funds to buy equipment and stuff like that, and they got big
Right, but
support because they're
so the
very
government
efficient.
should really chip in a good bit there as well. Instead of building another fire station, maybe you should strengthen that NGO. So and the second thing is we're looking for a pattern in terms of um, liability of the state, local and municipal and federal, for not having the security so that when your drivers drive, there would not be a big hole in the road that could run your car off the road because of the government fault. So want to see where else, like what happened in DB the other night, where else has happened or could happen or is happening. So by now we should have the papers going on everywhere searching for these bridges all over and come to get right on the press the next day or 2 days later. There are 414 bridges just like that. So we want the government to get the step to get act together. Don't worry about the PNM. They will not get it. They will take 5 years to do what the UNC will do in 5 days. And in 5 days they will start doing that work for you. Just alert them. So the papers have to do all of it. They have the resources, they have the money. That's not my job to do. I should be reading that in the papers. They have to do the investigations.
Mhm.
So the two issues then is I'm raising about this. One is how long does a fire engine or emergency take to reach the federal emergency, the government sponsored emergencies? And secondly, yeah, these hazards, these environmental hazards, do we have many of that? And is the government unable or failed to do what they're supposed to do? Let's blame the government instead of blaming the individuals. Like the other night when I summarized it with Dr. Ramrup and he agreed to what I said, that the police will write a report and saying this is an unfortunate incident. The woman just lose control of the vehicle and went down in the ravine and she lost her life, unfortunately. End of file closed. I forgot what we just used. Something closed. File closed. Done. Matter done. Next month, the next
Case
investigation
closed.
now.
Case closed. Case
This
closed.
is yes, case closed. This is cases. This is just have all these cases have to be open. The one that already happened and the one likely to happen. So this is an ongoing case. When you move it out of the police and move it out of the hands of the emergency, it now gets into the hand of the decision maker. There are bridges like these, and can Dr. Rambo was saying, put up a zone, a electric light. Maybe you do something else. some good warning in the night, especially to the decent like this. There are some bridges maybe I think we said that before. Some bridges that are worse than that, and some like only waiting for something to happen. Because sometimes you see these kinds of things that you wonder how people surviving. There's some roads and you see the road suddenly there's no warning, and your road your car just suddenly fell into this whole thing. You saw if you survive, you're lucky, and somebody wouldn't survive. And Kamala had said once that have taken about 2 hours to reach most sleep over. No, you take to number two junction, Head Road Junction. That's where they have a big recreation ground over there. Somebody Trinidad cricketers on the TV talking about how they should change the whole rise back and we go and we walk.
When you try to advise that Trini, wait a second. Yeah, I know.
But I tell you, because day one, day two, day three, day four, day five. After day, I mean, I had said something like I think somebody on your that agriculture when they cut the food import bill because you'll cut the food bill in the first 6 months. They got board the tree to be 3 months for crops. In 6 months, you could have two crops. Because while we're growing to these things, have almost year-round stuff like tomato, a big inflow of tomato or glut in the market is like season when the rain starts falling, everybody gonna plant. And then 3 months later, come August, September. So the market conditions tell you that you are
information systems. That is, you have a farmer's database. How you inform the farmer. The information, the farmers have to be educated to an extent, and the division's supposed to be telling people, hey, you know what? You are a lettuce farmer, you plant your lettuce. But information to maintain the high prices or decent price would give them a good profit margin in it, rather than to have a glut down the road where you're just breaking even after 4 or 5 months of hard work, and you just have to break even, in your investment. So this is why they need to have a good agriculture information system to alert farmers and not to advise them what to plant and how much to plant and create the infrastructure for them so you don't engage in too many losses, you know. So
what you're all saying there is let's be real. How the Trinidad people do their thing, and here we're talking really with the PNM government because they also like to help agriculture, but they're really concerned about helping their side of the bargain before anything else.
yeah.
So here how their style of agriculture is this: get some young people, send them to a school in Chatham in 14, right?
The youth camp.
A 3 months training back and give them some and give them everything and then say, okay, go and plant now. And you also give them money because they need money. Then 3 months later, your son started, the sun was too hot and they kill all the plants and therefore I need more money again. So that's a failed thing. What they have to do instead is that once you train them, you learn. I told you all that my cousins and I've gone with them a few times. They will go with the agricultural clerk was there. Because I go with them. I would take the bunch and put it on the scale, and he would write down the scale, and I move it up the scale. I hand a customer, whoever customer waiting for right there. So what did the government did? The government 35 cents in those days per pound and sell it at 18 cents is absorbed by the state a proper price, and we don't know what the proper price would be. And then the customer get cheaper food, and in the middle we have water, and the planters get some decent price, and we're doing this. Cement, you mentioned about how the pricing of the tomato and the marketing board should jump over to the instead of giving people more food stamps, you give them tell them where they could come at the marketing board in Porters, collect how much you want to go. Of course, you're going to tell them instead of giving you X amount of dollars money that you're subsidizing them with food, but it's locally grown food, man, in everything. And you could be a better society you than that we don't this import substitution everything. So by the next 2 3 years, you find the food import bills cut drastically. because you're consuming locally. And then I see sometimes I see the Aranguez farmers come out with tomato, and the one we get from Florida, you couldn't tell the difference, especially when they have a good crop. You couldn't tell the difference. So I don't see why you want to ever bring tomato from these days with the Trinidad, with the American government, everybody looking for their own. You better don't be caught flat-footed. You already help the American economy by everything foreign and Chinese and Japanese. All you try and buy some local stuff and encourage your local production. They're not doing enough. Even this current government has not well enough getting started, and maybe later on, but then all of them, nobody not doing enough. Everybody is just looking and saying it will come, it will come. And no, it will come. It has to be done in the morning. It has to be done overnight. And that's why I agree with these people who want to have 4 months to study the 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 the, the, the refinery operation. Everybody was involved. People who was in the refinery is still around. Everybody know what is to be done. If you tell me you're looking for sourcing for partnership, that's tell us that. Tell us that we're looking for partnership to help us get this off the ground. Tell us, don't tell us we studying. Forget effing studies. We had enough studies done. We don't want no more studies. We want everything to get off the ground. And if you can't, abandon before you start. Nothing wrong in saying the refinery can't get it, it's too expensive, it's too this, it's too that, to the next. You could find a decent way to get a wiggle out of it. Hopefully not, but if push come to shove, there's not look there in business. You all know these things. I teach this thing every day. There's nothing called certainty. Everything is risk taking. You know what the problem in Trinidad all says? I mentioned a lot of problem. They don't tell about how to manage risk. I listen to some of those people on talking about money or personal finance. They tell them every time if you do this, you'll make this. If you do this, you'll make this. None of them telling them, well, you never focus on the loss part. That is where the weakness of Trinidad is. How do you manage losses, not how do you manage gains? And that is why when Clico happened, so many of them fell because they didn't know how to manage losses. In Trinidad, they teach them how to manage gain. And that is why people don't want to go into business because they're not teaching how to manage losses. I didn't learn this in Trinidad while I was there, though. I learned this abroad. So if I'm talking like this, it's because I know I have business myself. I know. If you cannot manage losses, don't go into business. You have to talk about losses before you talk about gains. Focus on losses. Focus on break even. You have to break even before you can make a profit. Look at your break even. What's your break even a pound of tomato in Arangwes? Anybody can tell me what's a break even? Assume everything. Assume I have to place somebody at $8 or $10 an hour. Assume all of that. Give us a break even so we could know what the floor price would be. And then we could build up from the floor price to get a profit to take home. The people in the university do this thing every day. I'm not the only smartest one they have there. These people should be telling them every day what a pound they should do. They should be inventing, giving things to the farmers free. That's what should help them with. Don't send them to boot camp and no youth camp to learn crap. How much of them big farmers come out of youth camp? Go into our Caroni and Arangwes and see how many big farmers came out of boot camp. Zero, zilch, nothing. How much money is spent in the training? Millions of dollars. What is the return? Zero, zilch, nothing. The government is very unsuccessful people. They don't know how to do anything. That is why the hunters, what we call them, the search and rescue team, will beat the fire brigade to the submerged vehicle because they have too much bureaucracy. Just let me just say one more thing because I think I might go on and on. When I submitted a report to tell them what I would like to see in the Constitution, I even tell them who model I'm copying from. I was copying what Ghana did. They bring yam from Ghana. They could have bring some how to settle up, how they organize the society. Ghana is a former Commonwealth country, just like Trinidad and Tobago.
But I am right in that, Baki.
They bring yam seed. They couldn't find. I'm kind of going in the back of Barak. When you have so much of wild yam, I pick up. I gotta tell them I bring it from Nigeria too.
We go
Oh
Scotland
bullshit!
Way and we find place to dig yam after we catch the fish too.
Yeah,
Scotland Bay,
Yeah,
Scotland
yeah,
Bay, down the
yeah,
island,
yeah.
right? They
That's
also
right.
gone up in
yeah,
the bush there for something, and he find a yam vine, and he hide that yam vine. Every time we go there, he dig yam, and he come and he catch the fish, and we make some yam and fish.
yeah, yeah.
But uh, my concern, Doc, is and the reason this is a whole The people, the actual farmers, the PNM don't work with. They undermine them.
Yeah.
They give
Oh
them, they
yeah.
give them, they give them all the runaround.
Yeah.
All right. Do you think if they was working with the farmers, we would be in the stage that we in now? They don't want those farmers. They want to go find their own farmers. All
You
right,
see,
Yeah.
and their own farmers who they choose can't even compete with these people in a million years. They don't want the
No.
people that's actually producing. We don't
No.
listen to the people who actually knows how to get the job. We go in and do
correct.
more research, and we researching, and we researching, and and the fireman who have five subject, you think he want to jump in the ravine with the polished shoes?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and he might have A levels too. You think he wearing a shirt and tie? They think he want to jump in that water. But the man who hunting and fishing and wherever he think, and the man who come out from the ravine, who grew up in the ravine in the back wherever in the swampland or the lagoon, like how Heinz put it, he's the man to go in the water. And he have no problem. He could dive in the mud and catch cascadoo and all kind of things. So when you in the mud and in the ravine, he could dive in that mud and come and get you. So I mean, what are we really doing?
Correct. Correct.
Why
That's
why it is that we don't understand how we have to work together with each other? We want to be too educated and too scientific, and then there's more big talk than any kind of action. There's a lack of how to connect the dots, right? So and them who think they have hands don't want to listen to the man who talking common sense or the person in the community. Everybody's a big boy.
I would like to know. I know where else they have the youth camp again to teach agriculture. I would like to know how many guest lecturers were invited from Aranguez farmers. How many of them were on the payroll to give a guest lecture at Chatham? How many
We
of them were used? Because
lecturers could
because
really tell the actual farmers how to farm and how to grow
that's right.
product. Or you
they,
At
want to
least
go tell the man, or you want to go ask the man who plant doing this, who grew up in this stuff, and he doing this for 60 years, and he
yes.
could plant the garden and he could grow the plant. Who you only want to talk to? The one who went and get a doctorate?
Yeah, that doctorate
Who you
man
want the advice from?
who read 25 books and he write everything and he teaching only. He only teaching what's in the book. And when you go to apply the book work, it doesn't work. So that is why I'm saying how many farmers they enlisted to have as guest lectures in Chatham. Tell me, give me a report. You want to report to the people? Report. That is the kind of report you're looking for.
Let me
The
tell you
PNM
something.
has no, they have no
We
database. They have
we have to
database that they're
stop.
always behind in everything.
We have to stop. Let me see how to put this there. We have to stop admiring and honoring the colonial masters and use our own local instinct and listen to the local people who knows how to get this job done. We will go and find a man from Switzerland to come and tell us how to plant garden. That's how we operate. Because we
Yeah.
wouldn't listen to the man right there who doing it for 60 years. And his father do it
Mm,
for 50 years before that. All right?
mm.
That's how we operate. So, like I said, the simplest thing for me, for as I see, the infrastructural issue has to be dealt with straight up, right away, immediate effect. Because and then you come along with everything else. So you have to make it possible that the man uh, produce does not get flooded out after he spent 4 or 5 months or 3 months putting it together and all that hard work in the sun, and he lose everything, and he get flooded. Deal with the infrastructural issues, minimize the flooding risk, give grant the land tenures for those who need to sort out those things so they can get the proper agricultural loan. When they come to the whatever the issues are with the Ministry of Agriculture and whatever they're seeking to get, whether it's the grant or whatever it is that they're trying to get, we have to create an ease of doing business. Not somebody sitting in an air conditioned office and they have five O levels and maybe three A's or whatever, and they roll up their sleeve, and they cock up their foot and think that, and give the man a run around when he come there, and they don't know how anything grow, and they don't know the same food that they eating and going and buying in the supermarket, how that is produced. So
Yeah, and these farmers, Gary, these farmers from all over the country, they know that they are not treated equally in society. They know that the powers that we look down on them as though what they're doing is for the low level of society, the
yeah, yeah,
downtrodden of
they are this common
society.
youth. They are this common
That's the
youth. That's how they treat it.
marginalized
Yeah,
people
yeah.
work to do. So they are not given any seat at the table, not since they come to this country. The forefathers came to this country. They were never given a seat to the table. They had to fight to get that seat. And somehow they try to pull the seat when they start to sit down. Because
Exactly.
Because you see, when they see they treated badly so much, they tell the children, you see how I can't get nothing done here, you see how this and you see how that, you see how we are no water, we are no this, all you don't say here. Get your training, go to school, get your O levels, get a good job, and go in a place where you can have water, lights, and everything. And come out of this dull drum you're in here. In this backward area, we have nothing but river water and latrine. So they encourage their children to leave because the society look down on them and never give them. And that is why you see the Papuri Road is a Papuri River because they paid no attention to these people. I'm not sure they're complaining all the time. The road this, the road that. How much you will complain? Your grandchildren were complaining. You complaining now. Your grandparents were complaining. You complaining now. And you're getting nowhere. So society has not given these farmers a seat at the table so they could be equal and they have some dignity in what they do and they respect in what they do. Everywhere they have, they should be talking about farming and farming and farming and farmers and call out the farmers. How much farmers got award at national award for production in farming society? They have to take them at that level. That's the level I'm talking about. You have to treat your farmers as equal as you teach you treat your policemen, your doctors, your lawyers, your teacher, your engineers. They are also agricultural engineers because they're doing something. Look, I write in this book here now, and I look at the technology that my grandparents used to build the I think we talk about this sometimes, someone. You remind me again. Somehow I'll say the same thing I said some weeks back. But the gradient of the lagoon calls for special agriculture engineering so that the bottom of the section of the lagoon that coal they call it a cola. I don't know what that's a Hindu word I think they call a cola.
I know you're the cola too.
Right. So that in the undulating, the cola must be such that it is not too deep on the lower end and not too high on the upper end, so that the rice would remain covered. The half of the bottom of the rice would remain covered, so that the grass would not grow and only the rice will survive in the water because rice is a watery thing. And they will do this gradient for about 500 feet coming all the way from the little stream coming down all the way down. And then you have about 12 colas. So I remember they walking these colas down there. That is technical engineering. They didn't went to school, but they know the gradient that is required. And they
But
have
listen to
these.
me. In all that the PNM government tried to undermine us and our great grandparents and great parents, they succeeded better than the ones that they helped. We and eventually succeeded better than the ones that they helped. We invented our own wheel. We created from scratch. And today I mean, well, finally we have a government that is going to treat everybody equally, and will represent our interests. But if we don't put certain things in this first 5 years to give those who struggling farmers the advantage and put them on the international market. So I am proposing that we create a structure not only locally, but that we create with our foreign affairs. Like Wade was saying, stop importing apples. I say no. I say export more pomsiti and mango and the apples in the importing. And we have to work with our foreign missions to get that done.
Yeah, have you all heard anything with these foreign missions? Because from my understanding, all these missions have to be changed. Ambassadors and consulates and all these types of
Well,
positions.
yeah, I showed in the process of choosing who they want, and there'll be a lot of people batting for positions. So we will see. But whoever, like I said, I ain't telling them who to choose. I'm trying not to get into that. But whoever they choose, you know, we will be dealing with each other. And it's either I mean, they listen and collaborate, or they will hear about it. I give you an option to hear about it privately and confidentially, and if you can't listen confidentially, then I have to broadcast it to you.
Yes, but
But
these things
but
generally.
we would like to know who is setting up.
That's right. That's why I'm asking. But I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know.
Well,
I
then
have not.
it don't matter to me who they send. But like I say, we have to organize ourselves here. That when we present certain things to them, they have to listen.
Because the next time I go down there, I have a question to ask, and I want everybody to hear the question I'm going to ask. I would like to know when the PNM takes over, why they remove my name from the list. I am not affiliated to anybody. I don't have a party card for anybody. Why you all don't invite me? Like when the UNC come over, I submit my name once, and every week, everything they have, they keep inviting me every time. I don't go to everything they
You
invite
know
me, but
what
they
time they
keep
take off my
inviting.
name off the list? Let me tell you something. It was for Nan Ramlugan. I never get invited over there.
So so now that the PNM remove my name, I don't know why they're discriminating against me. I did them nothing. I have not done anything negative to the PNM. I always fair with them. They do a good job. I say yes. Do a bad job, yes. So why you all move me off the list? No invitation again. So when the UNC government come now, I'll put back my name on the list. And I
Lovely.
doubt it, but I'll see.
Today's Emancipation Day, right? Did you hear about any day? Did you hear anything
No,
on the Consulate for Indian Arrival Day? When
no.
last did you hear a planned event took place in New York like it used to be under the UNC government? In the last
Well,
10 years, did
yeah,
you hear about anything?
right. Under the PNM, the Emancipation Day, and I think one Indian arrival day,
Okay, so that was
and
that was in the
that
first
was
5 years.
not this present not this present guy,
Raleigh
the guy
administration.
before him,
I think
maybe
Yeah,
in
but you
Manning
talk
time.
about you
That
talk about you talk about Dr. Robertson was there.
yes, yes, yes. I have invited her a couple of times, and that was it.
That is Dave's best friend.
Maybe, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I remove of the list. I would like to ask them again if
They
the government
they
says
were
you'll
very
remove them off.
selective in who they invite there. So a lot of things have to change, and you can address it.
No, I just want them to keep my name on the list. Let me say I'm not coming.
No, 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 but not a matter of your name. It's a matter of being inclusive to the people that here in the diaspora. It's not a
correct.
my name or your name, but in the fact that notifying and being inclusive of the people of Trinidad and Tobago within the community here, and the interference with the list, is like the hijacking the merit list.
Well, they were here. I mean, the embassy, the consulate were here when we were having the opening of the Trinidad and Tobago Street. And, we rename 151st Street to Trinidad and Tobago Street.
Yeah.
So he was that's the last time I hear from them. And they were here because they getting showed because they were broadcasting all over the world, and New York and United States
Yeah,
too,
but
and Trinidad.
when did the consulate general office ever organize anything?
Yeah, no, they were yeah, no, they were present. They
No,
sent
no, no,
they
they
sent
were
the
there,
people.
but did they organize anything?
No, 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 no. Even when we
No,
lost, even
they.
when they stole one, yeah, I don't know if you know they stole the sign, right?
Yeah, yeah, I know about it. But what I'm saying to you,
Yeah.
they didn't organize nothing. They
Because I had to
didn't
call up
help.
the
They
because
didn't help.
I had to call up the government and the New York State city and tell them we're missing the sign, we want to replace. And they said they give me the date, and by the Monday they'll get it back in 3 days time. They brought back a sign that is less thiefable, more secured. So they acted. I don't think the consulate they didn't even know they're not living here. They wouldn't know. When I was told about the sign, and then the press picked up again.
Well, within the last 10 years, how well has the Consulate General Office worked with the people in the community for any event? Any
Zero,
event. Okay.
zero.
All right. So that's why
Zero.
you're
Like I've
getting
told you,
invited
time
because there's
Robinson was
nothing
there. I get
happening.
invited, and I went. I used to go to. I went to Emancipation. I had a good time there. They went had Emancipation. This
The
girl
best
sing. This girl.
Emancipation Day we ever had is when Kamala was Prime Minister in the
Well, we used
under
to
the
go.
PPP.
Yeah, this invited to a lot of stuff over there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
And that's where we meet the
This.
doubles man and everything. Remember the doubles man?
Yeah. Yeah. And when you go Kamla, they used to always get some bottle of bitters to bring home. Something she given it from Trinidad. Yeah. This is piano people. They piano have to give, only give the selected people. I saw it
Mm-hmm.
one. I saw it one day. They give to the selected few.
Well, I think you have a few books to write in it. Yeah, I think you'll get finished yet and
Nah,
you're not
nah,
getting started.
nah,
We have a
nah,
lot of
that's,
things to tell yet. Me and you had to
nah,
sit down and talk.
nah, oh. Yeah, so I think the agriculture thing could make a dent in 6 months, which should have already started. And the weather may not be all that great. Some days Trinidad weather is another problem because of the climate condition that is kind of problematic. But they should have to get used to it. I mean, um, there are certain hilly areas that you could plant and certain flat areas you could plant. I mean, I think some Arangues farmers talk about leaving. You cannot leave your water the water pump because someone will steal it. People pass by and steal it. You know, somebody in your one of your station, one of it speaking of one of these night, you had somebody voice on talking about Trinidad. I think they talk but they're talking about fowl and goat and mining, all of these kinds of stuff. And my uncle have so much of land down, still down and over there, and my cousin taking charge. I just talk to him sometimes. Them fellas, I think they had some buying some goat one night, and I think they missed about 7 1. They had about 11 or 12, and they missed seven of them one night. They stole seven. That's a big hit. That's a real big hit. So people don't want because look, your crime situation. I don't understand why they develop this when they develop this attitude that what you have is mine and what I have is not yours because I have nothing, and what you have is mine, and therefore I'm entitled to take what you have.
Well,
Where did they learn
listen to
this?
me.
That
If your parents preaching to you and the discussion among your community is the people who work hard and sacrifice took something from you, what do you think is going to build up in your mind? What do you think is going to cause you to justify your actions to go in and stealing their goods or robbing them for what they work hard for? What? So some
some
people is of the belief. I'll give you an example. For the first 5 years of Basti Pandey or the first stint, UNC thief go and rob and kidnap them, right? Then Kamla come there for 2010 to 2015. We thief again. Up to now, they can't prove what we thief, but we thief and we thief and we thief. Now we seeing all the exposure of the level of thieving within the local government, and well, we have a lot to be accounted yet that they can't give money for on the national government. But the CPEP and URP distribution of funds, money allocated, 80% of the money missing, not properly accounted for, according to what I could see. I don't know. That is my opinion. What I'm seeing, 80% of the money went to the higher top, not to the people who are actually doing the work. But they will rile up the people who was doing the work and make them feel like they're getting robbed. When those who really, it's like a man thief the bag of money and pointing to the other guy behind him to go after and he run in the other direction. The money that will all the NM do.
and as you mentioned that the a thief see a thief in everybody.
Look,
So
Khadija was talking about
that is why they say
recently she
Panda
had
thief
yeah.
and then Kamla thief. Because thief seen thief all around. Because that's how they survive. That's how they live. By thievery. They
Right.
are
So Khadija
thieves.
was
So
talking about
everybody's
somebody
a
running
thief.
a mini mart, and the mini mart employees are being paid out of the CPF and the URP fund. Just imagine that the mini mart employees being paid out of the fund of that money there that was supposed to be paying going towards URP and CPF, right? The local government funds, the people who in charge, they bring their friends and family, two of them in university, them getting on the payroll and they're not even on the job. Go ahead, Doc.
So so this thievery business is in the psyche of Trinidad people. Because if the police is asking me that I am everywhere I go, I'm a low hanging fruit, it suggests that they are suspect that everyone who walking around are thieves. Therefore, I should develop that same mentality that everybody that I meet is a suspect culprit to thief my money. Therefore, I have to stay secluded and take care of myself. So I have to be hiding and watching and creeping and looking at every corner because there's a thief waiting for me every. What kind of society you all? Because if you reinforce that, because if you're telling me that it's my fault because I come out to cook too early, 8 o'clock is too early to come out cook. You're supposed to come 10 o'clock when everybody coming. Why you come alone so early? You look for it. You look for it. You look for it. So you look for it. You go back
Wait,
and do it again. We're not investigating. You look for it. It's your fault. Because you should have known that you see. So that is the mentality. Because when did it occur that I should take somebody else's goat and go with it? It's not mine. I don't have any goat, therefore why am I doing with a goat? Why would I steal someone, take someone unknowing to them and I could ask them for a goat? Will you give me a goat? Maybe they'll give me or maybe not. But why would I take it behind your back and go and sell it or go kill it or do whatever? That should not be enter in my mindset. But is a society that's how have a culture where they think what you have is theirs or what they have is theirs and they have nothing. So what you have is theirs. And that is the kind of social thievery that I'm talking, that philosophical basis upon which our society has developed. And none of and that is why I say I don't like government because they're not people depend on government, and the more depend on government is the more worse off they are, and the government not helping because the government encourage the thievery because they are the biggest thieves themselves. They thief a whole lot. They thief and they give their friends. Why I think they're having all this CPAP problem? You think because people are working so good and why the UNC walked in? It is because too much thievery in there. Is theory causing your problem everywhere, left, right, and center? That is why you can survive. That is why your society not making any great inventions. That is not you have no rocket in the space. The Hummer rocket train are having, they will never have because the way they look at thieves around themselves, they are living as thieves, and the thieves, everybody around thieves, and therefore you cannot see thieves in front of you. You are unfit to be in Trinidad. I disqualified from being a Trinidad because I'm not a thief. And to be in Trinidad, you have to be a thief. So thief in everywhere, and therefore be on the lookout. That is why I say, see something, say something where you know who's going to protect me when I say something. Tell me who. The police doesn't have vehicle. When I call, look, somebody looking behind my house. Somebody looking at city point not going to me. Could you send some squad? Oh, when the car come, we'll go. When the squad car comes, we will go. By the time the guy don't shoot me, you're not protecting me. You want me to say something? I'm not saying a single damn thing. I mean, and this is not only Trinidad, urban, rural areas. This is in the city itself. This is happening everywhere. And every race will say the same thing. You want me to report some matter? You don't defend me. You're talking about low hanging fruit. I'll be a target because after I tell you say something, you know what happened with me. See how many witnesses get in the witness protection program, and you're protected. They're still not safe. They're still taking them out. You're not even defending you cannot defend the people who are your witnesses. And I think someone talk about the evidence. Now Gary must have said the same thing too. They can't protect the evidence. Sometimes the evidence is missing. Some of you wrote there and I said, okay,
Well, we
that's
saw we
smart
saw
deal.
that with the Coleman case with
Yeah.
the Naipaul lady, right? Yeah, evidence.
Because
Just
if
imagine when missing is eight
because
kilometers.
if the file is missing, that's good strategy.
Yeah,
Because one of the things you have to defend your people with is to see if you could thief the file. So I as a defendant representative would pay somebody to seal that file. The police have to hold on to that file. Don't nobody touch this. The
And let
exhibit
me
is
tell you
all I
something.
have to win my case. I have to protect that with my life. How come somebody come and thief the gun that I had secured in the armory and protected all night watch by being watched? How come when I go for the gun, 2 months later it's not there? Where did the gun go? Nobody can account for it. You lost the case. You can't protect the exhibit. I go say something and see something. I say something, you can't protect the exhibit, you go protect me. Crap. You have to overhaul your entire psyche. Trinidad is down the hill. This is the last chance, or else they will be forever lost. There's no coming back. I think Trinidad have a website called Trinidad is not a real place. So you come across that, Gary? There's
Yeah,
some blog
there's
going
a
on there.
Facebook
Trinidad is not a
page,
real place.
there's some TikTok, different things. They always saying that kind of a slogan. Trinidad is not a real place. But listen to me. Is the PNM who brought the country to this way it is because they managed the country longer than anybody. They created this thing, and they had the audacity. They're so damn shameless to talk and accuse anybody and point the
Yeah,
finger
but
at
I
anybody.
see. So I will blame them, but I still had the problem. I
Yeah,
could
yeah,
blame them,
no,
but
but
I
what
still
I'm
I
saying to
still had
you,
the problem.
the people,
I'm not blaming nobody for nothing. I am saying right now, get your blasted self together, all of you, every one of you, get yourself together
yeah,
and
but how, how,
recognize the problem. You
yeah,
used to
but
be the best in the Caribbean. Now with you, how come you come the worst? You could track and see why you got there.
because the people voted race and party, Kamla did so good for them. And what they do? What they do against her in the 2015 election, right?
Correct.
Some of
Correct.
them who voted for PNM should have never voted for PNM. The 100,000ers didn't vote this time. That's what should have do in 2015.
Yep.
If you didn't want to, you vote you and say why you come out for, and you see what the kind of things the lady put in place, right? Now everybody holding on to she foot, and they want she do more than she could really get done after they done rape and rob and capture the whole place. So she have a whole set of rebuilding to do. But I'll catch you back in 2 seconds.
But
Go
that
ahead,
And you
Doc.
doesn't.
Go
see,
ahead. Go ahead, Doc. Go ahead. I don't
and
want
you,
you to lose your thoughts. Go ahead.
yeah, and you see what is happening. They give them in the first 100 days, they're already making pronouncement. If you look at some of what they're saying, and we talk about the press and the people who write in the editorial and thing, they're already saying the first 100 days they produce nothing. All that they have is a state of emergency, and a state of emergency is not a solution. It is in search of a solution. So, but a state of emergency is doing something. How are you saying that's not doing nothing? That is doing something because you need some breathing space to get your policy in perspective. You cannot have these people shooting one another and then let me go to the drawing board and let me see what I could do. You have to have some peace and calm to come up with a right solution. Because if you keep on responding to every little thing that is happening because you're shooting, murder happening every day, you have to try to take drastic activity, call for drastic measures, drastic decisions. Because you couldn't, one murder again is too many. And a few of them were happening too often. That means that the killing continues. You could move this if you don't get a handle on this cement.
Yeah, yeah. I hear you.
Yeah, if you don't get a handle on this thing, these people will move the activities into Tetron Bay because this is so vast or could be so vast that they could get them they could have infiltrate even down there in a matter of time. So your state of emergency is doesn't mean to relax. Your state of emergency is to double up, and you needed the space to come up with a solution because in the normal scheme of things, you couldn't come up with anything. You need this drastic measure where you're asking the society to sacrifice because in this state of emergency, there are certain things that will happen to you, and you have to go along because it is not forever. So this forever thing is going to come. But right now, we're looking for drastic solutions for drastic activities that you need to curb as early as possible. But if it continues happening, you overwhelm. And while a society trying to cope with the last murder, you have to stop it before you can come up with a solution. So the state of emergency is necessary to give you the breathing space.
And
And don't ever compare, and like I just listened for again, I repeated the other night, don't ever compare the state of emergency of the PNM with the state of emergency UNC is chalk and cheese because had their state of emergency to appease the criminals because they wanted peace among them, and eventually they got their wishes because right now they are in unity. They're not fighting against themselves thanks to the PNM. So now the UNC now have to deal with that unity, which is syndicated, as we said, now syndicated against the state bureaucracy. So now you have to fight a united gang rather than fighting among themselves. They are
mm,
now uniting against you. So you have a different problem to deal with. So don't compare your SOE with the PNM SOE. You could compare your SE now with the SOE you did some 10 years back, 10, 11 years, 10, 9 years back, 8 years back. So the game is different. The game has to be played differently. And all those people who looking for results in 100 days, it will never happen. Don't look for it in 100 days. No, we're making no promise of how many days, but we are going to get it done, and we are working our best, and we need your help. And you're going to appeal for the help now from the people to the best they can. Not we ain't talking about see something, say something. We're just telling them whatever help you like. How those people went into the river and tried to save a colleague. They went to help one of your citizens. Excellent. That's the kind of help people can give. If someone is looking in your background, call the police and say, I see somebody hanging out in the neighbor next door. They're not at home, but I'm seeing something is happening. Please come and check it out. They will say they have no vehicle or whatever crap. They all have an excuse that they can't come right away. But I hope the UNC will take care of that. And I hope Alexander will get this 2 and 4 together and try to get his act because a lot of fingers will be pointing at him. So far, he's doing okay, but I think he could pick it up a little faster. He could do a little better. All of them could do a little better,
yeah,
including the prime minister, including the PM. All of
yes.
them must know they have some. They give an extra. We need an extra for no matter how much. We need 101. If you're doing 100, give me 101.
See, I
Because that's the
think,
kind of manager I am.
yeah, I think they had their plans before they went in there, Doc.
Right, right.
So you don't try to say, well, we have to think about this now and do this. You had the plans, go in there, executed, implemented, and executed. Don't be saying that, you know what, we didn't know it was so bad, because that's a legitimate excuse, of course. We did not know it's so bad because there was nobody gave correct information about the state of the economy financially. And I think, personally, I think they still do not have a handle as to how much, revenue they have available to spend. Because when you have the same people, the same public servants, the same contract employees, you don't find none of them yet. You're expecting them to give you the most up-to-date and accurate piece of information. They may do just like what the AG and former AG and them are doing, or they made a mistake.
Mm,
Just cover it up like that and it's good done. But who
mm,
in 2010, I don't know if you recall, Deloitte was the people,
mhm,
the big accounting firm, the top four, one of the top four. They were the ones who did the cash, the balance sheet and the income statement and the cash
mm,
flow of the country.
mhm,
But this time around, you had public servants in the Ministry of Finance.
mhm,
And we all know how that can be,
mhm.
right? So when PNM say that they still controlling the country, they know what they're saying.
Yeah,
UNC win the election, but PNM is in charge of the country because
yeah,
the people are planted all over the place. They broke all the rules. All these permanent secretaries,
Permanent secretaries.
they broke
They
all
broke.
the rules to facilitate the B&M. And now at UNC in office, they're going back to sticking up to the rules again. Oh, you can't spend more than this. This project is, doesn't sound too right. Let's go back to the drawing board and the to and fro, to and fro, to and fro. Next thing you know, a whole damn year finish and nothing kick off the ground. So again, if you have the same level and quality of staff doing an important piece of work like trying to find out the state of the economy financially, I don't have too much confidence on that these kind of figures what you're going to get. I'm sorry, but that's just my opinion.
So,
Well, we can't pass
so
on to
the
it. We have to wait and see how things are handling at this point here.
so what you're saying, the civil servants could put a spokes in the wheel. That sort of terminology. Is that what you're saying?
That's for surety. That's for
That,
surety.
that is exactly what I'm saying, Doc. Or they could be putting as spokes. They may not put the spokes because they know what they do. You understand? If they don't have that high quality of training and expertise, what do you expect? I'm not saying that is the case, but take it with a grain of salt. And coming down to the and say, "Oh, I forget that. We forgot to include this. We forget." How come Dr. Munila could come about 3 weeks ago and say, "Oh, Stuart Young made a 1 billion US mistake, over nearly $7 billion TT dollars," and Stuart Young and them saying that is a mistake or was an oversight? Tell me what's going on with that. That's a big oversight. That's not a mistake.
So, couldn't the Auditor General pick that up?
But anybody explain what the Auditor General pick up so far? This is
No, but
this
they
is
could go back in now. They could go back in. She could go back in now. Why not go tomorrow morning and
this
Well,
is
I
in
think
a
both
position.
Dr. Mulilala and Barry has offered them the opportunity to come and explain that.
right?
You
And if
know,
they don't, and if they don't,
Because they were trying to restrain. They did everything to hijack and restrain the Auditor General,
right,
right?
right. So if they don't, then give them a month. If they don't, apply again. Tell them again. Give them a 1 week again, and say, okay, we have to do what we have to do.
Well, the report has to go to the DPP. That's the route we had to take. The report has to go to the DPP, right? And far as I see, this new Attorney General here, who's on our side, is new on the UNC side, is not making joke with them. He's not
No,
making joke with them. So
she seemed like a no nonsense girl. So I think she should get to the bottom of it.
not a girl, the Attorney General,
Attorney
John Jeremy.
Jeremy.
Oh no, I talk about the Auditor General, not the Attorney General.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Auditor General.
No,
I
no,
don't
well,
think
yeah,
I don't
yeah,
think
but I'm
she's
talking about the Attorney General at this point here.
Yeah, the law could take a back seat. I'm
So
worried about the accounting. The accounting flaws had to be pointed out first
okay, so
before the AG
what do
can.
you do when you get the accounting? You have
and
to
fix.
prosecute the case. You have
Yeah,
to. You
That's
just
right.
can't account.
That's
You have
right.
to prosecute.
Yeah, but you had to get the accounting for in order first. Then you could look at the prosecution.
correct.
So that's why I hope
So,
this
Yeah, well,
lady
that's
is
what I'm saying.
that lady is doing her job. She has to be in it.
Well,
but
I'm sure that they're going to take that route now, where she's going to be
Right.
involved in assisting. I'm sure that they're going to
Yeah.
put the. I mean, they know what they're doing in far as getting that information. They have people there that could do that.
So if, you all must have been hearing me all along talking about someone is culpable and liable when an accident happened on the street, like for example the river, and somebody didn't fix the bridge and therefore they're at fault. I am I am not saying to take the government to court. I am saying that you will take the works department or the local government or what do you call it, whoever is big, the road and bridges, whoever do that, because most of these they have a government is a government entity, but
Yes.
Okay, but Doc, before you go there, you have to understand some facts, right? The local government was starved for funding, right? In that municipality and most municipalities, especially under the UNC, nothing they could try to do. They had them. This is late and take it back. They have you begging
yeah,
and
yeah.
howling and
So
crying
I
and
understand.
protesting,
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're
and they
saying.
couldn't get a
But
job. Look at the
if
instance with the bridge. Look at the beautiful bridge UNC made and connect it.
so, that is why whoever responsible is the local government. I have to go after them. If it's the government, if it's the works department, it's them. Whoever the culprit would be. I cannot say it's the federal government fault when the state council should be doing that. The government, they will start for funds and let them put it on the federal government. That's fine. But what I'm saying is, I'm looking at the cause was not the federal government who caused the bridge to fall long, but
Well,
who responsibility
we don't have
was
federal government in Trinidad. We have
to
state
maintain
government.
the bridges. So if a TNTech pole fell on my car, TNTech is responsible. I cannot go after the federal government. I have to go after TNTech. The TNTech has their own board. They have their own responsibility. They have to pay. And if they cannot pay, they have to get the government to pay. But they have I going after them. So that's why I'm telling you, I'm not going after the government for these things. The local municipality or the local government and or the statutory authority, the statutory board that is responsible for this organization, I'm going after them. So
Yeah, but in this instance, I'm telling you, you cannot blame that. For the last 10 years, we could not get it funding, and no how much.
that's not my business. That's not my business. The local government have to find the funds however they can. If they can't get it, then they say, well, the
No,
government give them money.
In Trinidad,
Let
you
them
can't
figure it
talk
out
to.
because I can't go
You
into that. I don't want to get
no,
into that.
you have to take that into consideration.
No,
They are not enforced.
let them explain before a judge or something. I'm talking about right now who is culpable and who is liable. If the road is bad, if my car falls into a pond inside in the middle of
Faris
the street,
Alwari, Rohan Sinanan, Rowley, and in both is
so
culpable there.
we had to give the board are responsible first and then government after. So that's why I'm going with all of this.
That
So
thing, what they're getting at, Doc, somebody should be held culpable and
that's right.
punishable if
That's right.
proven guilty. I
That's right.
agree, totally agree with that. And
Yes.
my chain of command is that whoever is responsible for controlling the monies of the citizens, which is the head of the accounting unit in every single ministry, is the permanent secretary. She's the head of the accounting unit. She's the one who releases the funds. She's the
You
one
could
who
say we
asks
hold in
who.
the previous government culpable.
Yeah, and the minister of finance is the one who releases the money for him or her. So this is how it's run. So the whole
Let me
chain
let
of
me see if I get,
command.
let me see if I get this right. So let's say that the Wasa line broke and the water run into my place and damaged my property.
Yes.
Who is responsible? Not Wasa?
Wasa is responsible because Wasa is a
Okay,
statutory.
that's what I'm talking about.
Yes, they are responsible. They are managed not by the government per se directly, but indirectly
Right.
through a state board.
That is why I tell you they have a board. The
Yeah.
board, the fellas want to sit on board. What I told you the other night? The fellas want to sit on board, bring $1 million to sit on this board. If you don't have money, why you want to sit on a board? You have to have money to sit on board. Board is not cheap and board is not free. Get in their mindset. Not because you win government, you're supposed to sit on a board. You have to bring something to the table. Okay, I don't have money, but I'm an accountant. Okay, I don't have money, but I'm a financial expert. Okay, I don't have money, but I'm an engineer. I'm bringing something to the table. Okay, that is what I'm talking. You don't nominate anybody for a board because you for a party card. BS again for the tonight is the third time I'm saying BS. You have to bring somebody to the table, or else we're not hiring you. Your party card alone is not enough. Whether UNC, DLP, PNM, whatever, I don't even care. The PNM going that way. So the party card entitle them to a position. Because when he look at the board and he see only a certain type of people, those certain type of people have qualification, they have money, they have reputation, they have this to bring to the table. You have a party card that qualify for nothing other than the doldrum, than the pit, than the cesspit. Your party card only good for the cesspit. It doesn't take you anywhere.
But
What would take you somewhere if you're an engineer like my AI engineer looking at me participating here with me tonight, and
but it's,
my technical specialist here on the UNC platform.
yeah,
Those
but
are the guys
Captain,
who have something to bring to the table.
yeah,
Those are the people who want to put in TNTech and WASA and all those places. They have something to bring. You have nothing to bring. Why am I bringing to this table? So you look across you only see in Bangladesh. Something
and,
wrong with you. You have to be sick mentally, physically, and all. You need you should be down you should have an asylum to keep you there. Why even
Well,
somebody should vote for
he
you? That
exposed himself on the PNM right there.
and not
you
only that,
expressing yourself with so much of sickness. You have too much of disease, man. That three injection it took, you need a fourth to get rid of COVID. Maybe the COVID still on you. Because
but
you're not really well.
No, it's the Balize injection he take. No, no COVID injection.
no, pigmentation of the skin. That is what he says, the criteria. The
That is the Cosa
pigmentation.
Nostra injection.
But you know, Penny and them are saying nothing. Nobody in the PNM said anything against that. So that is their philosophy.
They never did. They never
Yeah.
did.
So everybody say
That is
Penny was this and
so
that.
Penny
It's just
if Penny had come out and castigate him for that and call him out on it, I'll say, well, now the PNM really good, the leader is good. But she said nothing there, but she's an accomplice. So they all
correct.
accomplice to this bad
That's my
behavior.
point. That's my point. So that's a PNM strategy.
I
Strategy.
said that the other night that you have to call them out. When they do, this guy who's allowed to say all kind of racial thing, they need to tell him, shut up. This is not good. This is not healthy for the country. It's not
No, well,
healthy for our own party. So shut up.
we cannot remain silent. I do not intend to remain silent. You know, I do not.
Well, you could make noise, but if she make noise, it's better than you make noise because she will have more effect than you. They wouldn't hear you, but they will hear her. So she
Yeah.
must come out and say, as a party leader, keep
Yes.
bat in the crease. That's what I have to tell him.
But you see, that's what I was mentioning before. Our state board,
But you're missing the point. Because for the last 10 years, we had the PNM people, the activists, all the media specialists, the so-called media specialists, was propagating all kind of racial and misleading information and riling up the people, trying to mislead them against the UNC. That is what happened. So what I'm saying to you is, we had a few people rebutting them, but what I'm telling you is that we have to become more vigilant in rebutting their bullshit. We cannot sit quiet and ignore them.
That's fine
So
too.
what I'm
That's
saying
good
to
too.
you,
But but it,
politics is war. They fire
but
in missiles and you fire right back.
but I don't advise the PNM. But if she's smart, she would have taken a position on that.
exactly. That's the point.
Well, I have no intention of advising the PNM. All I want to do is to see that the PNM is devastated because they are wicked, evil force, very corrupt, responsible for the chaos in the country. I should never see the reins of government again.
You see,
Hmm.
that's how we may see it, Gary. But they have 200 over 200,000 supporters in a month. We have 335,000. They have 210,000.
I want to leave you all with something tonight that you want to pick it up another time maybe. But here's what a story. Here's what I would propose. Or if you were to think about now, I think from what I hear from all of you speaking on this program, um, you're concerned about performance. You know the old talk, many time performance beat old talk, that's a slang of 2010 and 2009, 2010. Old talk beat performance, and really they won the election, which is the UNC. Um, so right now, we have to keep performing. But we also have, as Gary suggesting also, we have to keep answering them. And as you heard the Dr. Rupnarayan the other night, Dr. Ramrup the other night, um, don't worry with the petty issues and so on. Let thing fall through the crack because we have more important things to think about. All of this is important because while we could win them in performance, we have to also win them on non-performance, which
So,
is old talk, which is the old talk part of it. We could
correct.
beat them hands coming, going and coming on the work side of it. But in
Yeah.
the old talk part of it, we also have to beat them.
So we must have our team or a team of supporters who will be specially doing that on social media, be pounding them on social media 24/7.
Right.
But it's not
Right.
the job of the politicians to
Right.
take up the minor issues. No, that the point I made that point, we don't have to answer to nobody. Literally nobody. We got the mandate to rule the country. Okay. But PNM asked some important questions. We'll answer the important question. But a lot of it is a pack of BS. So let the supporters at the this level, at the social media level, let them handle these minor issues, minor questions and so on. The important issues, like what is an important issue? No rate increase on TNTech. But Padarat said today or yesterday that he is revoking the TNTech rate increase as outlined by the committee, the RSC. That is good news,
And,
right?
and, and just before I go to finish that last point that I started, Sumant, I just want to intervene with one reminder to you all that Sumant and Gary too maybe that the people occupying the position in the technocrats in the ministries can put a spokes in your wheel. And no, I want to let you know this also that we, whether it is only titular or whether it is for real, that the PSA supported this government and maybe still supporting this government. So we had to approach that in a different way than we normally will. So I want to leave that right there with you all. But let me
The
just finish this.
PSA did reiterate the support.
Right, good. So we want to leave that. So let's leave it in their
But
hands
but
and
I, but I want to
let's
make one point there also.
okay. So keep that in mind as because I wanted to tell you that since so the last point, the last thing I wanted to say tonight is when we follow back with Mr. Pandey when he got the second 5 years. He got the first five. Robinson helped him to win that. But on the second five, he won it on his own. 19,000 plus votes more than the PNM.
Yes.
The PNM make all kind of accusation that it wasn't fair because they were for the party and they were this crap. They get beaten left, right, and center. The second term, Pandey couldn't hold it together. And therefore you had to call a snap election. And we know why it happened. And the reason why and he'd have won again by the another 19, 20,000. But the split was split with the Romeo and them, the Romeo and Juliet took
Correct.
away some 15,000, 20,000 votes from him. And therefore he had to end up 18-18, but still have more votes than the PNM. And Robinson, as we know, took away the mantle, the crown from Pandey head and put it on Manning head. And that was a travesty and an injustice to Trinidad and Tobago and indeed the UNC. Rush back now to 2030. We are entitled to another five and maybe even more. But we have to watch out that we might win the next five and learn from past mistakes and don't let this happen again. And we have to be aware of history as we go forward into the next. So I said, yes, economically we're strong, but we also have to be them in old talk too, and that will take us to the next 10 years successfully because we want to complete the next 5 years also because Pandey couldn't do it and he didn't do it. So if the opposition parties or let's get the UNC leading the opposition will go for 10 years, they have to make sure after they win the second five that they hold it together because we have to learn from the past mistakes because we must be a learning society. We must be a learning party. And as long as the learning continues, they won't be able to catch up with us. I will continue for a long time to come. That's my last word and a good night, guys. And I'll wait a 5 minutes again and then I'll go. Go
All
ahead.
right, Dr. Let me just say one thing there. What you're saying is absolutely correct, but you have to take into consideration that no party, no party has gone more than 5 years, other than the PNM. So they have a strong track record of coming back, even though they're down and out. We may think they're down and out, but they have a strong.
But I think I'm still Pandey did, and that's the point I was making.
Yeah,
Pandey did, but he didn't hold it.
Pandey,
Right,
yeah, but that's after 60 or 56 years of ruling, right? He didn't
right,
complete the 5 years because, again,
right. That's why. So he didn't
circumstances.
succeed. Right.
They have always have that PNM, that magic touch of coming back against all odds time in 1986.
Or be a juice boy. That has worked good.
Don't
Yeah,
go,
but
don't.
let me just say one more thing. I know, but sorry to interrupt. 33-3 would have continued because they would have was going to come back again. It's the opposition who couldn't hold it together, which is my point. The opposition, which is the then government, couldn't hold it together. Kapane went his other way, and Robinson went his other way, and the rest is history. So,
Correct.
and that's
Yes.
the reason why. Otherwise, they longer, and Robinson didn't could understand the reality because he thought he could
Yeah,
mistake
I
he made.
know. I know. I know.
So so that's what I'm telling you. We have to learn from the mistakes, or else we do them again.
And this is the
Go ahead. Sorry.
biggest
Go ahead.
this is the biggest problem facing the party. I don't think any party that comes and defeats the PNM thinks they will think that yes, we in control, man. We could go on next 5 years, the next 5 years, the next 5 years. But PNM has always been able to come back and surprise the community and win the election. Again, who is driving this, exactly what you are saying? Who is driving this process? All the guys, most of the guys in NATEX are either ministers, parliamentary secretaries, or have got positions, board positions, and so on. How strong is the existing NATEX? And this is the scary part, and this is where it crumbles. This is where the ruling party, like UNC, crumbles at that trigger point. That's called a pain point. In modern studies, it's a pain point. And if that is the point that is not addressed properly, that includes, number one thing, a communication and a PR department, revamping all these new systems and so on. They have to have people to drive these processes because the original NATEX are no longer there. So I don't know if any replacements has been sought at this point in time, but you look at certain things. For example, try calling a ministry. Doc, when last have you been home or back in Trinidad?
About 5 years ago.
5 years ago. Most things you could call a ministry number in a whole day and nothing is still online from 8 to 4. You're still on hold. Right? Come when 2010, 2015, the same thing happened. It got a little better, but most times it was still the same thing happened. And you ask the question why? Where are the thinkers, where is the national executive in trying to be more proactive in trying to get these things done? That's what I'm saying. The present NATEX has been appointed now to various state boards, parliamentary secretaries, representatives, and so on. So they kind of their role, their plate is so full now that they don't have time. They have to see about the ministries now. So that void that has been created. You see the point?
Yeah, but I answered that a long time ago.
No,
They have to
where
they
is
have
it?
to have a shadow. The party doesn't have it yet, but it's supposed to have a shadow narthex in there working in their behalf.
It's supposed to have a shadow narthex. And that shadow narthex has to be very proactive. So that is
Yes.
what I'm saying. You have to be proactive and get the things done that the average ministers and MPs and them don't have the time to do. You have to fill the void then, so to speak. Fill that void. The MPs and they meet the constituents only on Tuesdays, but the constituents have problems during the week. Who takes care of that problem? So I think that the narthex has to be strengthened big time, big time.
And just to let you know that the narthex cannot do it alone either. I think if you listen to Dr. Ramrup, he has mentioned there are certain functions for the lower rank and file to do. He gave an example of where he could help by giving UNC members or pro members, pro party members a discount in a bill when they come to his office as
Yeah,
a way to keep them in the fold and here's something I would get. Here's what my party card is on earn me ERN.
correct.
Yes, well, so I go somewhere and I see someone in a place and I say, hey, how you going to shake hand? And say, what does he want? Don't worry, I'll take care of that. My party card is working. Those kind of ground swell, those kind of ground behavior. That's what I came out. That's the system I came out of.
That is
I,
Pandey
I went
style.
on to say I went on to say so far that even Pandey's daughter, who we know from a long time, she could have started from the ground level. Like I would, if I have to go back to the party, I will go back to where I'm living and go to that constituency, go to the local and find out where the local office is, and I will start from there. And that's what I did. And every time I went to any constituency and I moved my residence, I start at the bottom up, and it didn't take me long to get it because cream will rise at the top in a matter of time anyway. But
Yeah,
she wants to come from the top because she father party and she entitled no damn thing. You humble yourself. Your father was a humble man. Behave yourself. Humbly, although technically he was not, but he showed to be a humble man. Behave yourself. So what I mean is all these people who have the mix and reacts the grind. Come down from a high horses and start from the bottom because the party is one, you're gonna win at the bottom. You don't win at the top. It's from the bottom you're gonna win. And
yes,
watch all those fatas brigade that they have everywhere. They're still very strong. They're making sure they win. They're making sure they get them to vote on that day. That is what it's going to cause. Some of our UNC people get very vexed and say, me, I'm going to vote him again because they promised me, they never promised me. Okay, shut up. What other choice do you have? Go back again. You have no other choice. Please, don't be so stupid. You're so narrow-minded. Go. Support your party. What do you have to lose other than your chains? As Trump told some black people here the other day, some years back. So there has to be on the ground. You have to be on the ground. Election is never one from the top. It's one from the bottom. The top helps, but it doesn't take you that far. It's going to take you so far. The bottom will bring it home. I learned this the hard way. I learned
true,
this.
true.
And I know there was a time we having problem in the same NAR. And I had to they didn't nominate me to pull aside to take, we were fighting the local election in Arima. And it was I think it was 7 or 9, but I pulled away a good part. I didn't pull him away. He didn't nominate me to take charge of a section. Only 2 members didn't come with me. The other 7, I think, was 9 of them. All the 7 came with me, and they all 7 won. And I think they're 2-1 also because that time was a clean sweep in Arima that year. Fortunately, that never happened again. But again, same pulling and tugging in the party thing that you and I couldn't live that behavior. This we know, you know the story. I don't want to tell you about the NR on the inside working of the. I was in the inside working of the NR.
I was in the
Mm.
inside there too.
Mm.
Good proposals, and it's just that everybody comes in after PNM has dismantled everything else in the country, and
Mm.
that is the flip side to it all. When the country
Mm.
has money, PNM is in charge. When they don't have money and everything has run down and so on, some other party wins election and they have to
Mm.
cut their tail now to come back and
Mhm.
bring back the country to any semblance of, normalcy.
Right. And as you said, when you bring it back, they take it away again from you and give
That's
it
what
back to them.
this is a real
Yeah.
doc, this is a real thing in 2013. See, look at
Yeah.
it objectively. I don't put on a UNC hat or a PNM hat. But just
Mm.
look at it statistically. 100, 110,000 goes back. They appeal to the tribe. They have some big parties, carnival, this thing, that thing, emancipation, they a lot of funding and so on, go to Calypso group, blah, 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 blah. You know how it is work. And that
Right.
110,000 goes back and vote to them. No amount of reasoning applies to these people that time. They don't want to see how much schools you build or how much police stations or hospitals. That means nothing to them. Once we as a tribe can be, the black man in party, yes, man, that's it. Never mind, you have to eat grass if that's the case. But, you know, this
Mhm.
is the scary part. And UNC have to be very cognizant of that,
Mhm.
especially in marginal constituencies where they have won for the first time or first in a long time, like Blabre and Point and St. Joseph and Tunapuna and the northeast of Grandy and Toko and so on. They have to make sure and work those areas to ensure at least you still had the majority of seats. I don't say don't forget the Siparia, Pinal, Davis, overseas somewhere. Yes, you have to consider that as well, but you have to focus more on your marginals than
And
your.
and and and, and you could for that matter you could focus on everybody, really.
Yeah, this is what they're
But
doing now. They're focusing on everybody now. Everybody.
yeah,
There's no
because they already have a slogan. When they win, everybody wins.
everybody went. That's exactly the point. But
So
PNM was
so
just anybody of South and the lighthouse, you got your tail. They had nobody listening to you.
mm,
There's a big part of Trinidad South and the lighthouse which they never considered.
yeah.
You know.
Then I said the other night, and I I don't know why they don't hit them for six in Trinidad in the cricketing language. Um, the PNM is saying that the CPF people, and I said this before, and I just mildly saying it tonight again. The the CPF people, the ministers and them, the Alarawi and them, saying that the CPF people, they had them occupied so they wouldn't turn to crime. So my point to them is that all you're offering these people, CPEP and crime. So that's only two options you're giving these people. And I remember I said, but if I was called in with all the billions I have, I'd open my business and employ half of them CPEP people. There's so much you think you could open, you have to make a profit, but just to employ a social activity, you're employing people just to not even to make profit, but to help them, to help really more. The objective is to keep taking more of the bread line. So you only give them two options: CPAP or crime. So now that they lose the CPAP, your answer is solved. Your problem is solved. They're going to crime. So if you only give them two options, don't blame anybody else. That's how you have them. Because you give them only two options. I give them several options. You only give them two.
think
I give them
probably
options. I could give them some money to go to school and learn a trade, or I could employ them in apprenticeship job till they pick it up, or I could also open another project and give them some work there and make it we have governmental jobs. We have work, and we could have things, but they might be more productive. What I'm going to give them, so that's fine. But they're going to get something to do, more productive. So I could shut you down, but I can have. So I have many options. And I could even ask one of my buddies and them to see if we could help. As a minister, I could help you to get a job somewhere because I don't want you to starve and you have bills to pay. So I could help you. So the point is that don't you give them the two options and they walk away. So now that they're laid off, then they're going to go to crime. So no, you gave them ideas that if you can't get a CPF work, then your next alternative, your best alternative is to go and choke and rob. And exactly why I'm trying to get the society to be come out of this kind of thing. You're encouraging them. So PNM is no good, misfit. They have no solution, but bad ones. They have solution, but they are all bad for Trinidad and Tobago. So the quicker you can bury them forever, the better off you are. And a new party should really replace the PNM. That's my last word for tonight. Good night. Go ahead. I will listen and then I'll go on.
well, first of
I,
all, you advising input to invest in the
Yeah, input. Yeah. If you give them a third option, so crime, CPEP, or inboard job, give them a third option. That's what I'm saying. I'm making.
listen. We have to
Inboard
make
have enough
sure
money to
and the
employ
whole
100, maybe
PNM.
10,000 of them or 5,000 of them.
We have to
He
make
doesn't
sure
look
that
like a
the
poor fellow to
PNM
me. He look like
totally
a 1%er.
irrelevant.
The way he talks like that anyway.
Right?
well,
Imbo didn't care about nobody when he was in government. He made difficult for everybody to get their money. And
yeah,
them had the
So you
audacity
want
to come and
taxpayers'
look.
money to do everything, including fill his pocket. With everybody.
correct.
No. We want to work for the help your voters, man. They need help.
You
I
see,
give them good advice. Open my business. You only give them, give them three and fourth option. Don't give them only one option. The only option they have is to go to crime. What kind of again? And these people voting for you, the parents, the grandparents will be vote for you, and that's what you tell them now. You turn these people away. You're really kicking them down, by telling them to go to crime other than CPEP. How could you be voting for these bad advisors who giving that kind of advice? No wonder why the PNM people don't want to vote for them anymore. You have a good justifiable reason that if that's the advice you give him is, so I don't want to be a part, I don't want to be any PNM anymore. Forget it. I'm not going to vote anymore to decide. I like the PNM and I like the UNC, so let me stay home. That
correct,
makes real sense.
correct.
That's real sense. That's a smart voter. No, we're getting somewhere when they think like that.
But you
But don't
think
tell
like,
me when you give me something, when you give me some extra money in my pocket, I go back and I vote for you. That is bribery. And I don't like bribery either.
But the
Give
people
me
should
some
ask
money and
them
don't
to
tell me
explain the
anything about
corruption.
voting anymore, please. Just give me some money and let me go. No, you want to give me money now because I will vote for you. So I like bribery. I would like bribery either. So all where the PNM is reinforcing the negativity in Trinidad. So Trinidad is not a real place. And the PNM have it that way.
yes.
I hope I make sense tonight, right?
No, you're right. You're right on the ball. I think the same way to a large extent.
Yeah.
Um, I agree with most of the things we're saying here. We have our own views, but to me, the scariest part is two things: the structure and UNC with the NATEX, because as I say, most of the guys move out of the NATEX to take up positions as ministers and parliamentary secretaries and state boards and so on. So that has created a void. And whoever is going to fill that void better be aware of the real challenges being faced. Because if that board is not new NATEX is not proactive, they will play right into the hands of the second problem, which is if those 110,000 people from the PNM who did not go and vote, right? If the penny and they apply, appease them nicely and say, come back, we made mistake, but how they do to convince people politically. and say, and get back into power after the UNC has spent this 5 years cleaning up the mess, which would have then again prove the same point has continued all over again. It's a one-term government. All other governments are one-term except the PNM. So that is a scary point to me.
Right. Well, we are doing quite a bit, in reference to the CPEP job. I mean, Barry explained to them that what he's restructuring it to work better for them, right?
Mhm.
And and we have to demonstrate that as we go forward. The internal party politics, them guys don't want no advice from any one of us here. All right, them know, and them will do what they want, regardless of what we say they're going to do.
Yeah, I agree
They're
with
going
you,
to
Gary.
do
True.
what because it's a kind of tough thing when you try to
Yes.
join. I'm telling you what I experienced when I try
Yeah.
to reach out and assist. They try to how to say,
Sharp you in the back, man.
yeah. But then it was like what he could do from there. And there
Correct.
was a lot of issues. So I became competition. They didn't see me as support, but they see me as some kind of competition for them. So I don't know whose job I was competing for. But I like to make it very clear that Trinidad and Tobago is my country. I will stand up and be very vocal what I see fit and what I would like to see for my country. And I am not asking anybody permission, and I don't need no office to do that. In fact, I created my own platform here, and I will be respectful in giving you the advice privately. But if you try to derail me, I'm gonna have to give it to you publicly. All right, but keep in mind that no party appoints me to be a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. I am a citizen of Trinidad, and I will seek the interests of my country and my people. Um, you know, and I don't need nobody to appoint me to do that. In fact, I did that recently, and I helped 600 of my people get home, fight with the government very badly, the previous government, and I worked towards their removal. But gentlemen, we will make our suggestion. Our suggestions are documented here. It can be pulled up. It can be viewed. So it's well documented what we think, and this is the best I think we can do at this point.
Yes.
I do not
Yeah.
think we are welcome in that inner circle,
No,
on
but
that latex level, and I would not try to enter that inner circle. We have an avenue to communicate with the prime minister directly. We will give her the information, let her make the decision. We're not trying to bulldoze our way into anything.
no,
This is
no,
just
no. We at least you're right. We're not trying to bulldoze, but we're trying to give an objective view
yeah.
to
But I'm telling you,
ensure.
Suman, the way I see it here,
Uh,
we would not. The door will never open for us within that annex to listen to us.
no, we
They will. That will
then
never be open. For those
it's,
people are competing for turf down there. But you know what I'm saying to you. So it will be never open for us. But
no
that would not stop me
correct.
from
It should
from
not
what
stop
I
you
have to
because
do and what I want to do, and not asking anybody permission.
right.
Right?
I, it's like myself, love for the country, and I will love the country. I will love to see the party, this UN continues for another 5 years. That's why I'm concerned. I'm concerned about this aspect of it.
And I
And
and I made it very clear.
yeah,
And on top of all of that, I'm here to watch my prime minister back in every
correct.
which way I can.
Because this is the best
And I
option
and
for the
I ain't going
country.
through none of them to watch her back. I'm watching her back, as how I choose to do. And I am not asking anybody to put me to watch her back. And whether she's prime minister, no prime minister, we are like family. And I would not stand up to see anything go the wrong way to embarrass her, to hurt my country. So there would never be a politician who will get that opportunity with that relationship that I have with her because she's that kind of person. So no other prime minister will ever get that. And she always said there was nobody who will love us more than she, and she know what she's talking about. She know how we feel about her, So, but I know, like I said, we want the best for the country. We want to make sure she succeed, and this is why we are so motivated. And we want to be able to go in a country that we could get the necessary response. So medically, we are all older. You guys are a little bit in front of me, but I know I saw what I saw what happened to my father. He wanted to go back to his country, and his country let him down by not providing efficient medical service. That he died, right? So we know where certain things to upgrade. We're going to continue to fight in seeking those things upgraded, and I don't need nobody uh, office or position to get that done. I get things done without that.
I know.
So
Yeah. So,
I am not afraid to bat with anybody. So
but
let's do the best we
again,
can.
my
We have a project. We have a project working on.
yes,
So let's focus on that project, and we will talk more of these things off the air. We don't want to broadcast too much of these things of what we're doing on that project. All right.
right.
So,
So,
gentlemen,
Okay, guys, good night.
thank you very much.
okay.
And Dr. Maharaj, we will loop you in on this project. I think it's progress. We want to see how we develop it. All right, so much we will talk. Let me know
Yeah,
what you want to do. We will see
we
how things
thought.
go tomorrow, and then we'll talk about it. We'll follow up on this case with this lady Miss Cindy. Try to get as much information.
Let's see. I think Ramro say he might be available tomorrow. So,
Yeah, well, he's gonna have a few things to say, especially where we saw this situation here.
yep, 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 yeah.
You know, with this
Uh,
lady here. All
well,
right.
all right. Let me
Good night,
go on
everybody.
to take a little
Thank you for
shot
joining
and
us there.
relax myself. Yep.
Yeah, yeah.
Take care, man.
So, Lindsay, Joyce, who was it again? Tion and Peter, Riaz. Let's see. Thank you all. And just want to reiterate, guys, that the door is wide open for you if you want to voice your opinion on this program. Thank you for being loyal supporters, and we'll keep the issues. Anything you want us to know. Peter, you in Tokosani Grande? That's nice to hear, man. Tokosani Grande. We have a lot of things in store for Tokosani Grande. So, Peter, we'd like to have you on board if you are from that area, Tokosani Grande family. We're going to change the game for you guys over there. So, with that, I will say good night. And any information that you guys would like to bring forward to us, please free to do so. Good night, everybody.
So the mom, Tara Lochansi, would have gotten into difficulty with her 4-year-old daughter around this area here. And what was told to us when we got here was that she made her way, just follow the light across here. Let me get underneath there in that underneath the bamboo there. That's where the child was found by a relative. They were not able to locate her. So this is the targeted area here, this basin. The water has dropped. Was being told to us. So she was here, just in that area there. Can't see it through the bamboo. And then she came.
But we have to learn how to stick together as people and stop undermining each other. There's only strength in unity. So all that was done wrong, uh, we can only come out of it if we stick together and work together. All right. So we all understand the damages and the ills against our people, and we have situation where some of our own people are doing it to us, and some situation where they are circumstances that they are doing worse. So, uh, we in Trinidad, we are Trinidadians, just focus on Trinidad and Tobago and see how best we can make it be a better place for all of us.